I think she's going to do something bad to me when she finds me. Whoever hears this... God, I don't even know who should hear this. Give this recording to Derek Thompson. He's my fiancé. Or my sister, Kylie Jones. Although I don't think either of them will believe me. I shouldn't have tried to drive, but I didn't know what else to do. Now I don't know where I am. I think I'm in a snowdrift. The car won't move. The tires just keep spinning. I'm afraid to get out. Someone will find me, right? People will see a car trapped in the snow and they'll call. It's so quiet. There must be other cars on this road, but I can't hear anything. Oh, crap. I'm probably taping over the exercises Dr. Warren gave me. She said these recorded exercises are supposed to help me reflect on our sessions and to ground me. How stupid. I have my tape recorder, but I couldn't think to grab my phone. But even if I could call for help, I don't even know where I am. I don't know how to tell anyone where to find me. I wanted to move somewhere where it never snows, like South Florida. I wanted to escape all this, but Derek's job is here and Kylie lives here, and I was so terrified to be alone. I suppose winding up like this is ironic. She's going to take him away from me. Dr. Warren didn't believe me when I talked about her. I've come to learn no one believes me, but someone needs to know. Someone has to believe me or she'll take him away. Forever. I know she's real. I'm not the first person who knows about her. You've read about her at some point, probably. Or saw that Disney movie, although it really has nothing to do with it at all. I wish this was about magical talking snowmen or pretty princesses. Mr. Anderson wrote about her, and it wasn't like his other fairy tales. This one was very detailed, all about where she lived, how she lures boys and men away from their homes, how she keeps them hidden away in her castle in the mountains. Kylie and I would listen to Grandma tell that story. She'd tell us all kinds of fairy tales and nursery rhymes, but she always told that story differently. More, I don't know, somber, as if she was warning us. She just wanted to keep us safe. She was all we had after we were taken from home because of the incident. And the story was the only thing that made sense to me. It explained everything. About why people are cruel, about why my eyesight was going. I wonder if it was the Snow Queen that took Dad away. Most people forget the most important part of the story, though. It's not the Snow Queen or the little girl or the boy. It's the mirror. The enchanted mirror distorts everything that reflects in it, making everything good look bad and everything beautiful look ugly. But at the start of the story, it shattered, and the tiny bits of the mirror blew away in the wind, and some got caught in people's eyes, and it made them mean and nasty. That's when she comes and takes them away, because once people are poisoned by the mirror, she's the only thing that looks beautiful to them. But you can't see the shards if they come at you because they mix in perfectly with the bees. That's what's scaring me right now. I'm staying in the car. I know they're swarming out there, the snow bees. People think they're snowflakes, but they're actually bees. And no, it's not like what you think of when you hear that word. They're not like honeybees or bumblebees or hornets or wasps. They're very tiny and fragile, like droplets of glass. Soft, quiet. No buzzing, no humming, but they sting like hell. You know, in the animal kingdom, especially with insects and arachnids, Usually the tiniest creatures can be the deadliest. I can imagine right now you're wondering what the hell I've been smoking or drinking or ingesting. I don't expect you to have seen the snow bees or their queen, the way they truly are. Because if you've ever been outside when it snows at any point in your life, your eyes have already been poisoned. Maybe you were just a little baby and your mother bundled you all up and took you outside and she cooed, "Oh, look, it's baby's first winter." Or maybe you were already grown up and you lived someplace it doesn't snow, but you took a trip. You went to visit some relatives up north or wanted to go skiing somewhere. But you looked up into the gently falling snow, those dancing, swirling shards of frost, and you felt the wind snap at your face and the sharp piercing of ice in your eyes. Maybe you didn't think much of it. It didn't hurt that bad. But that was the last time you saw the world for what it really is. And you forgot. The mirror does that too. You forgot how much pain you were in, or more likely, the pain trickled down to your heart, through your veins, into every nook and cranny of your body. You think the anguish you feel every day comes from something else. You're just growing old, your body's failing you, and the world is cruel. It's someone else's fault, someone else that hurt you. Or you accept that the pain is all in your mind. And now comes the part where you, if you haven't already completely written me off as delusional like everyone else has, or you just think it's fun to mess with a crazy person, you ask, "But Lorelei, you've been out in the snow. If the mirror shards change everything you see and then you forget about ever being poisoned in the first place, then that means you were poisoned too. So how do you know for sure all those terrible things are real? You just believe in silly stories rather than reality?" No, it's not that. I just remembered snow was the last thing I ever saw. And I remember the pain. And that's when the world slowly began to turn foggy. Every day a little less detail, a little less color. I've seen several doctors since I was 3 years old. They call it degenerative myopia. I wore special glasses as a kid and took meds. But the world just kept slipping farther away, growing cloudier, getting lost in a blizzard that'll never go away. One year, Derek and I made a snowman. And even though I knew we were making it out of dead bees, he liked it, so I built it with him. I don't mind it so much when the bees don't move. But this outside, this is a living, breathing swarm. Oh, she could be watching me through them. They have a hive mind, so what they see, she sees. That's how she found me when I was a child. I know I just said the last clear memory I have was of the snow, but that's not quite right. It was of her. And I still see her in my dreams, as if she's standing right there. She's not a beautiful woman like the story says. You see, I saw her before I was poisoned. The mirror shards hadn't touched me yet, so I saw the truth. See, she's the queen of the snow bees, so she wasn't completely human. Her eyes were huge, or what I first thought were just 2 huge eyes, but within each of them were hundreds, thousands of tiny pinhead eyes, like bowls of glittering diamond gravel. She had no other real features. It was like her face was a smooth, pearly shell, except her chin split open into fangs. No, not fangs. What are those things called? The things insects eat with Not pincers. Mandibles. Just those two huge eyes and two sharp, long mandibles. Kylie never saw it. She's older than me, so her sight must have been poisoned already. She thought the Snow Queen looked like Mom. That woman was holding me, and she was buzzing, humming something, like singing almost. And then there was a sudden, massive pain in my head. I think she took my eyes. Derek had to go to work, despite the forecast saying it was going to snow heavy. It's an hour's drive to his office, and the news had already warned that the storm would hit overnight. His company rented out rooms at a hotel down the street from where he works. He told me it was safer to stay there rather than trying to drive home in this weather. Don't worry, it'll only be one night, he said. It made sense to him. You see, I had never told him about the snow bees. Maybe he would have stayed home if I had. No one would go to work if they knew there was a swarm of 1 billion snow bees outside. Fortunately, the call center I work for closed the day of the storm, so I stayed home. I knew that dreadfully quiet storm was outside, and my thoughts turned to the Snow Queen. I realized she must have sent out such a massive cluster because she was planning to take someone away with her soon. Take someone who would never be seen again. I tried to convince myself he'd be fine. He's either in the office or in the hotel. He can't get a mirror shard stuck in his eye if he's inside. Or maybe he's already been poisoned. Maybe he always has been. But I always keep him safe. I always make sure he doesn't get caught alone. Then he called me from the hotel room, saying that the highway was still too dangerous and he was going to stay at the hotel another night. I wanted to go to him. I knew if she found out he was alone, she would take him away. But I also knew that if I went outside, the bees would sting me, possibly to death. And I can't drive because of my myopia. I call Dr. Warren, and she doesn't really answer my calls anymore. She's grown cold. It's not her fault. I think she got a mirror shard in her eye. Anyway, he called me again the next day. He said he was sorry, but the guy who normally did the midnight shift couldn't make it to work. Since he was already at the hotel, his supervisor asked him to cover. Don't worry, he promised. Just one more night. I said since I didn't have to go to work, if the highway was clear enough, I could call an Uber and stay with him at the hotel. He said his supervisors might get mad if they knew someone else was staying in a room that the company was paying for. I said I'd just slip in and out without anyone seeing. But he said one of the other coworkers staying there might notice and tell on him. So I asked how much would it cost to rent out a room for the night? That way I could rent a room, we could stay together, I'd pay for, so no one could complain. He said he'd been working all night, so I wouldn't see him anyway. He promised to come straight home in the morning. It was a lie. He didn't want me to come be with him. He's already been blinded, and she's going to get him. So what choice did I have? I called Kylie. I asked if she could come over for a sister movie night, and she did. And then I asked if we could make a quick drive to the gas station on the corner for snacks, so we did. And then I said it would just be faster if she popped in and grabbed the food while I waited in the car. I'm sorry I took her car. I thought about asking her to drive me to the hotel. I really did. But I didn't want her to think something was wrong between Derek and me. And if I told her about the queen and the bees, and she wouldn't listen to me. I just wanted to go. I figured I was close to the highway. And once I was on it, I could make out the car lights in front of me. I would just follow them. I thought I could make it. I never did make it to the highway. I don't know where I think something's outside. I hear someone. Hello? I'm in here. I'm stuck. The car won't move. Do you have a phone? Can you call for... Oh my God. What is that? How can I see you? Am I dreaming again? How... Is that what I look like? No. I only wish I looked that pretty. Eternity. Is that where you're going to take me?